Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here on this hump day as we sit 106 days, 12 hours, 11 minutes, and 5 seconds away from kickoff of the 2019 season. And we are in day number 2 of the Dallas Cowboys OTAs. They're on the field today at the Star with, of course, helmets and shorts, working out, starting to install the offense and everything else. And if you're not excited right now, I don't know what to tell you. You must not be a football fan. Now, with Skip, and Shannon, they posed an interesting question. And let's listen to the question here.
37-year-old Jason Witten heaps some serious praise on his teammates as he prepares for his comeback season in Dallas. Witten said the current Cowboys have, quote, the most talent I've seen. Witten has been a part of 2 different 13-win seasons in Dallas, one of which was led by Tony Romo, Terrell Owens, and Marcus Ware. So those are some big shoes to fill for Dak, Zeke, Amari, and the rest of Witten's co-stars.
Very interesting.
Skip.
Yes?
What does this tell you?
This was a stunning statement out of the mouth of one Jason Witten because, let's see, most talented team he's ever played for. He played on the 2007 Dallas Cowboys, who went 13-3 with now Hall of Famer Terrell Owens on that team.
Hall of Famer.
Tony Romo was Jason Witten's best friend. Remember, they went to Cancun together before the playoff game.
That broke your heart, too. I remember this.
We all remember that
I remember you talking about it, Skip. It broke your heart.
By the way, Jason Witten did make first-team All-Pro that year at tight end. That's pretty good. Did you make first-team All-Pro ever?
4 times.
Did you? Okay, you made it that time.
Yeah,
I wanted to give you a shot.
4 times? Okay, good.
Then let's fast forward to 2014. Dallas Cowboys went 12-4, and DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing.
1,840 yards.
And how about Des Bryant? He led the league in touchdown catches, and he should have had another one at Green Bay in the playoff game.
He was also what? First-team All-Pro.
First-team All-Pro. And then let's go a couple of more years up to 2016. That team went 13-3 with 2 rookies at quarterback and at running back. And Des Bryant was pretty good, and Cole Beasley led all receivers on that team with 833 receiving yards. So, I don't know, that was a pretty loaded football team, right? Nope, says Jason Witten. This is the most talented. And I got to tell you, it's a little bit of a shot at his best buddy, Tony Romo, because he's saying, I got a better chance with Dak Prescott than I ever had with Tony Romo. I got a better chance with Amari than I ever had with Dez or T.O., right? I got a better chance with this defense than anybody I ever had on all those other Cowboy defenses. That is a mouthful from the team leader, Jason Witten. So now I'm reading that the sky is starting to fall again because Cowboys have opened negotiations with one Jalen Smith, their rising star linebacker.
And
here we go again. So it's like, how can you sign him and Dak and Zeke and Amari? They already signed DeMarcus. And what about Byron Jones? What about all these young stars?
What about them?
And I'm saying, what about the best problem in the National Football League that my team has? Because it is loaded with young stars.
Loaded.
All of whom deserve to be paid because they're really good and they're all on the verge of arriving at the same time. Not to mention my left tackle, Ty Smith, who said yesterday at one of the OTAs that he's the freshest he's been in several years. He's finally completely healthy, and he says he's a little bigger and a little faster than he used to be. Wow, that's the left tackle. And how about Travis Frederick? How about the center? He's back practicing right now after his issue that he had all last year that cost him the whole year. And all of a sudden, it's starting to come together, yet I had to read Peter King rank my Dallas Cowboys as the 16th best team. See, there are 32 teams, so 16th means they're dead average, right?
Better than a pack.
And he ranked their division rival, Philadelphia, all the way up at 8.
Ahead of them.
And guess what? Jason Witten came back because Jason Witten has 0 rings. And all of a sudden, I'm giving Jason Witten a real good shot to at least get to the Super Bowl.
He's been married for a long time, so he got a ring.
Oh, he got a ring.
That's the only one he's going to get.
I'm talking about a Super Bowl ring. And I'm talking about he's got a good shot, and he's smart enough to know this will be his best shot.
Well, if he go up there, I don't know where they keep the trophies at, but I'm sure if he were to go into
Jerry's office.
No, well, go to Jerry's office. They probably should have them lined so they go and see the different rings, the markups. It's like, Jason, see those? You're never going to get it. Never going to get it.
Really?
Never
Oh,
go.
okay.
No. Skip Bayless, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, and Jason Witten should be ashamed of himself too. Because
FYI, they're not up in Jerry's office. If you go into the headquarters at the Star, go to the right. They have the Super Bowl trophies on one side and the rings on the other. Just dropping some knowledge on you.
You make some very interesting points.
Yeah.
Jenny, read that question one more time, because Skip was filibustering.
Well,
What does it tell you? What does that quote tell you if he says this is the most talent I've seen?
They probably missed the playoffs. That would have tell me. Yeah. Skip Bayless, he ought to be ashamed of himself. You mentioned something. You said in 2007, did you know that 2007 roster
team was loaded.
had an NFL record that still stands to this day? 13 Pro Bowlers, Jenny. Do you realize that of 22 starters, 13 of them made the Pro Bowl? Jason Witten was on that team. Jason Witten had 96 catches, 1,145 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He was first team All-Pro. T.O. had 81 catches, 1,355, 15 touchdowns, first team All-Pro. Marion the Barbarian Barber had 10 rushing touchdowns. Tony Romo, DeMarcus Ware, Roy Williams.
Yeah. Loaded.
Lozelle Adams, Leonard Davis.
And this team is better.
13 Pro Bowl.
Thank you.
Then the 2014, those guys had 8 Pro Bowlers and lost in the divisional round. So what that tell me? The more talent, the least far they're going to go. Now, I remember the time, I think it was 92, 93, 94, they had 11 Pro Bowlers. But guess what was happening? Skip, tell the people what's happening back in the mid-90s when they had all them Pro Bowls. What were they doing, Skip?
They were winning.
They were winning. They got all these Pro Bowls. In 2007, they had 13 and didn't win a game. In 2014, they had 8 and they lost in the divisional round. So
Well, they got robbed.
Okay, enough of that now. But what that actually tells you is how he feels about the people that are around him. That he looks around and says, you know what? We got something that we didn't have with those other teams. Now, I don't know what it is that he sees, because as I go through, and I think about this, because he pointed out that we had 13 Pro Bowlers. If healthy, you know, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and Travis Frederick are Pro Bowlers. You look at what Amari Cooper did, Pro Bowler last year. Dak, he's made 2 or 3 Pro Bowlers. So that's 5 right there. Zeke Elliott, you know, that's a Pro Bowler. D-Law, if his shoulder heals in time for him to start the season, you look at him and say, yeah, he's a Pro Bowler. And then you look at Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch. You look at those guys and say, yeah, they could be Pro Bowlers. And if Byron Jones' hip flexor heals and he plays the way he did about the first 9-10 games of the season, he's a Pro Bowler. So that gets you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That gets you 10. LP, who's been Father Time, has been to quite a few, as a long snapper, Pro Bowls. Jason Witten could be that pick of, you know, going out on top pick, you know, sentimental pick, which would get you to 11. And if you have the defensive line that I think we're going to have, it's possible that Robert Quinn, in a contract year, goes off, and you never know. Now, that's tough because edge rushers, you know, getting 2 from the same team would be very, very difficult, but you never know. So, as you look at that, you could get pretty close. I think you could get 8 or 10 Pro Bowlers out of this team. But here's the thing about it. What Jason Witten may be looking at, because complete team, let's focus in on one word in there, and it's team. Because you can have a lot of great players, but don't play as a team. You follow where I'm going right there with that? You can have a lot of great individual talent, but how does that mesh and become a team? We've seen a lot of teams go through in free agency and get a lot of great talent. But when it comes to putting those guys together, they have the individual statistics, but they don't play cohesively as a team. And what I think Jason Witten is looking at from past years where we've had Greg Hardys and T.O.'s and Dez Bryant's and things like that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to put Dez Bryant in that category, but with that. But having the locker room together, having these guys on the same page, having these guys with the desire. As we hear about, like, Malcolm Jenkins not showing up, holding out, or, people holding out for contracts and things like that. Even though we're knee deep in trying to renegotiate contracts, these guys are all still there working together as a team to get better with one goal and one focus. So as you look at that, if you have now a Tyron Smith who says he's healthier than he's been in many years, if you have a Jason Witten, if you have a Zach Martin who is now on two good legs, if you have a Travis Frederick who's back to where he was, if you have a Connor Williams who has got some more meat on him and a year of experience, and you have a Lyle Collins who has a little bit more around him as well, and hopefully works with his hand placement and things and gets better in the offseason, now staying at the same position and with the same coach, that he'll be a little bit better. That offensive line is beasting. If Zeke Elliott stays out of trouble or suspensions, and you look at the shape he's in, you look at Dak Prescott, quarterbacks, fourth year. They take a leap, generally speaking, in the fourth year. You have an Amari Cooper who has now been to training camp with the team. You have a Randall Cobb who has won and been a good inside threat. And you have a Michael Gallup that now has, no longer wet behind the ears. You look at that offense, that could be kind of scary. And then you add some young guns, a Tony Pollard here and, maybe a Governor as a backup offensive lineman. That is a lot of talent on that offense. Now you start looking at the defense. You got DeMarcus Lawrence and a Robert Quinn as bookends. You had a young pup and a Tristan Hill who plays like he's got his hair on fire. You've got an Antoine Woods and a Malik Collins, guys that are looking to get paid. And make no mistake about it, for whatever reason, guys that are in contract years seem to reach a little bit further, hit a little bit harder, and go a little bit more for that contract. You got one of the better defensive lines in football. Add to it two of the best linebackers that are young in Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith. You look at a Byron Jones, and you see the effect that Chris Richard has on these players. You look at that and you have to say, yeah, this is definitely one of the more talented teams that the Cowboys have had. And on top of it, they ended the season up going uphill as opposed to going downhill. So I have to agree with Jason Witten that this could be one of the most talented teams that we've had. We'll have to wait and see how it does on the field. I feel pretty good about them. But as always, friends, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work, and we'll keep you up to date with anything that is the Dallas Cowboys.